Hi Pisces, how's everybody doing? Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. My name is Gabriella, for anybody new tuning in. So I'm seeing something with the energy already about potentially controlling or tempering something. It may be something that initially or impulsively you want to jump into, but you may be taking your time with this. Like, I'm seeing something, instead of it being like in one straight shot, like you may want to make it more lasting. Something about the duration. Or like, even instead of something like fizzling out immediately, you could be like taking the time to kind of like draw this thing out. If you are not tempering this, I'm seeing that it's something that may happen like quite quickly, but you may not be happy with the end result of that. So that's why the deliberate tempering would be needed. I'm hearing take your time. I'm looking at the Magician. So I'm seeing you be in the driver's seat, creating something that you want. To have the sun be on the bottom, this can be something going on in a romantic relationship. This can be something going on with animals, creativity, a project, activities that you enjoy doing, a way that you want to express yourself, something that brings you a sense of joy and happiness, fulfillment, optimism. I'm even hearing something about scrapbooking. Like, you may be working on even a particular project. It seems like if you take all of the steps necessary. Interesting, because this came through, I think, in the Aquarius reading too. At least I think it was the Aquarian reading. It was one of the readings that I did today. So there's this notion of like wanting to take the correct steps and not. I'm hearing something about holding on to the right footholds. You may have an opportunity to cut corners. Don't do that. With whatever this thing is that you're manifesting or creating, you want to take your time with it, or like the energy that you're channeling into whatever it is that you're channeling. You want to take time and do things in a way that feels good to you, in a way that feels right for you, in a balanced way, mentally, physically. This can even be about like how you're addressing something or speaking it out with Mercury and Libra here. It's like maybe wanting to be like more diplomatic and balanced with something. It looks like it pertains to a relationship, to bring a real sense of harmony and balance into a dynamic that you have. I'm seeing this as some form of action that may need to be taken. I'm getting like a waiting and watching type of vibe. See this, like being curious, watching, observing, finding something out, I'm even hearing. But it's something that like you may need more information on this before you want to jump to a conclusion or jump to action. So you may be in a mode more so where you are gathering, Like, I'm even seeing something being stockpiled here. It even seems like there's like a catalog or something being created, and like later on when you gather everything that you need, you can use that. But for right now, there's a sense of like searching and gathering and waiting. It looks also like something is under development currently. Before you go and make a move. It's almost like I'm seeing the notion of like you may be going somewhere, and this can be a metaphor, going on some sort of trip, and it's like you want to figure out everything that you need to bring with you, and then you want to like recheck the list and make sure that you have everything, and then I'm seeing you like pack everything up and you're going to take it somewhere, and it's like maybe this is the point where somebody else gets involved. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're looking out for the stuff that you need to see, and like this is the like search and gathering and research and collecting, and then it's like going over the list, making sure you have everything there, not making a move until you have everything that you need, and then it's like taking off in a direction. It's like you pack up all of these things that you found and you put them on the horse, and it's like now you're going somewhere with that. And it's something that takes time, because the Knight of Pentacles is somebody that is showing up consistently. It's somebody that is well prepared. I'm also hearing. So yeah, the more like thoroughly and completely you're doing something, the better the alignment is going to be, is what I'm hearing. The alignment. Maybe like even the outcome. It looks like this is about even what you're bringing to the table as far as introducing yourself to another person or allowing somebody into your sphere. Because I'm seeing it be like this intention of like bringing love or feelings up into a dynamic with someone where there's a sense of like purity and things coming from the right space. It's like you want to get off to the right start with this person, it looks like. Because when you show up, you want to be well prepared. Like you've thought this out. The intention space is right behind it. And there's a sense of like, I'm seeing this be necessary so there's no butting of heads. Because I'm seeing two things coming together like this. And I'm seeing that if you're entering into this space, like you have the things that one would need to successfully achieve what this thing is that you're working towards. And again, it does look like an interpersonal relationship, and it seems like you have the like capacity and the means for this to go smoothly, but you just have to take your time with it. And I'm seeing even something about like, don't get too curious and get off track. You want to do things like at the right time, rather than being like too hot and heavy in the beginning, or like asking too many questions and maybe things that would get away from the point. There's a sense of like wanting to keep even the mystery alive in some sense. Meaning that over time things would be revealed to you. You just don't want to jump into things too quickly. Because I'm even seeing a sense of like your curiosity about wanting to find things out. You may like go overkill when it comes even to a conversation that you would be having. And this can even be oversharing. So there's something here that you want to make sure that you temper. Because it may like bring somebody's walls up or your walls up, depending on like which side of the narrative you're on. If somebody starts asking too many questions or like poking around too much, is what I'm getting. So yeah, you want to like ease into this. That's what's going to allow things to move smoothly. So yeah, even though it may seem a little bit counterintuitive, I'm seeing like you taking your time with this is actually going to get you much further than if you don't take your time. Because it looks like eventually the thing that you want to come to fruition is going to be coming to fruition. But there's a sense of needing things needing things in a realistic way to be sorted out or planned out or figured out. And then I'm seeing like the emotional side of this happening thereafter. But it looks like even logistic wise, you may be sorting something out with somebody. I'm hearing once you pass through the test, maybe once you pass through like some sort of challenge or even a barrier. But it's something that, because you're taking your time with it, you'll have the key to unlock it, is what I'm seeing. And then I'm getting like emotions follow. So you may even be building a foundation, because I'm seeing it looks like something, as far as logistic wise, it looks like you could be like planning something out with someone, or like creating stability or a foundation with this person, and then eventually feelings are going to be spoken about, which would lead and tie into exactly the type of relationship that you are looking for. But I'm seeing like everything be built upon each other, and you want to use the right pieces at the right time. So it's like you don't want to use, like, I'm even seeing a notion of like trying to build a pyramid, and it's like you don't want to use those top pieces for the bottom, because then everything's going to be unstable. So it's like you have to lay down, I'm hearing brick and mortar, you have to lay down the foundation and do that properly, and like build steadily upon and like consistently. And then I'm seeing there be like a natural following of what happens next. And it's like if everything happens in order, and you're not like pushing the boundaries of something that's not yet ready to happen, things are going to all fall into place. But this is not a time to be like zooming through something. This is a time to be meticulous and steady with your building. Because I'm getting to, like, you could even be getting to know somebody in the meantime. And so, like, all of these things that are adding up, even if they seem random at times, it's all going to, like, help you cultivate this thing that you're trying to cultivate. And for some of you, too, it may not be the right time. Like, you may need to build something first prior to being able to jump into how you're feeling about something. Like, what I'm getting more than anything, and I know we've kind of already gone over this, you have to build the foundation before you can get into like maybe intimate feelings about something. So this means like even getting to know somebody before you start telling them how much you're feeling towards them, because that may set this person off a little bit. Like, I'm seeing somebody be a bit defensive, especially when it comes to like certain inquisitive behaviors. And I mean, this can always be you too. It's like maybe if somebody comes on too strongly, you're gonna dismiss this. So you want to like have the right conversations at the right times, and that's going to look different for each of us. It's like what you're comfortable with. And this means too knowing your boundaries as well, and also like reading the energy in the room, reading this other person, and thinking about like what's appropriate to bring up and what is not, what's not yet the time to be discussing certain things. I'm hearing until you get to know them better. Because what it looks like to me even is that you could be pushing in a good way, like hoping to get something off of the ground with someone, and this person may have been more standoffish at first, but as things you guys like grow more accustomed to one another, I'm seeing that like the defenses are dropped, and then I'm seeing like something being exposed about how somebody's feelings or like the emotions that they're having. But it's very important for you to stick in a place where you are openly advocating for yourself and communicating when it comes to like your boundaries and where you stand and what you're ready to talk about and what you're not ready to talk about and all of that stuff. It looks too like this person kind of mirrors you a bit. So if you're like trying to get information from them, but then you're not willing to share certain things, I'm seeing like they will also mirror you, so you won't get very far with them. So this is about like both of you guys kind of need to open up at the same time. So it will be like a synchronistic happening. But I am definitely seeing like mirroring between the two of you. I'm looking at Mercury and Libra. This can be related to like any type of partnership. It can be business partnership, it can be romantic, it can be platonic, friendship, sibling relationship, family relationship. I'm seeing there be some sort of like mystery or question when it comes to like you collaborating and or working with this person. It's like maybe you don't know the extent to which you will be working / collaborating with them. I'm seeing the outline of an elephant here. I'm looking at the Three of Cups. It looks like there's some type of obstacle that you face in relation to connecting with this person. Like maybe even face to face. Let's see. What a mystery. I'm looking at Neptune and also the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck. There could have been a factor that was affecting your connection with this person, and that may be something that's coming to a close now. Like I'm even seeing some sort of external factor that had been affecting things. I'm gonna get further and see. It seems like there's something that you even learn because something has come to an end or it's not happening anymore, but you may not have seen this before. For some of you, there was a third party factor, but I'm seeing it be related to like money. So this can be somebody's job, or this can be a masculine figure within their life, or it can be like a role that they had like taken it upon themselves to be playing, but it was maybe something that was interfering with your connection. I'm seeing like a hand gripping onto something. Yeah, it seems like there had been an element that was introduced to or like existing within part of the interaction, and it's like once that thing is extricated from the dynamic, I'm seeing like things shift after that in a desirable way. So I don't know like what this third party element was, but I'm seeing that like there had been something in existence that had been like inhibiting something else from like growing and maturing. So because that has happened, because whatever third party element this is has now been like taken out of it or removed, something then falls into place. For some of you too, you could have been dealing with someone and they felt even lost within their career, and that could have like brought added stress into the dynamic that you had with this person. Or like even something within their life or like a role that they expected themselves to play, and because they hadn't had that sorted out, it was affecting your relationship. Because a third party by no means needs to be like an additional person, although it can be. It can be like something else that somebody is going through and dealing with, and it brings like an element into your dynamic that makes it harder because there's like another thing that one is appealing to rather than just between like one-on-one you and that person. So yeah, somebody may have needed even to figure out something with their career and end something else. This means also understanding that if there was an additional element that was in the mix, understanding the purpose of that, because you may have like wished for things to be different, but I'm seeing that there was a reason why it was like that, and this is something meant to be understood, maybe even respected about this person's process that they were going through. It was like something that you couldn't rush them through, that they needed to sort out for themselves. Yeah, I think that you recognize as well that if somebody is triangulating you in any sort of way, I think that it's not going to be something that you end up participating in because of the self-respect that you have. Because there could have been something that, like, maybe you thought it was just going to be you and this person, and because of this added element that like came into play within your dynamic, it didn't allow something to further carry on. It didn't allow something to continue, and you may have even felt like you lost somebody that you really resonated with, but I'm seeing it's almost like there weren't enough room for all of the energies there. Because I'm seeing like a boat and it can only have like 2 entities on it, and it's like there were three people or 3 things or 3 whatever, and so the boat would have sunk. It could only have 2 on it, and maybe you're realizing that this person you'd been dealing with, whatever that third party attachment is that they have, it's something that like they weren't able to break away from, and so there wasn't room for you on their boat. I'm hearing at the time. I am seeing this be a hard situation too, because I'm seeing feelings be involved with you and this person. It's like you not only get along with them quite well, there's also an emotional connection. For some of you, you even had like a psychic bond with this person. I'm getting like something intense with the Neptune energy. I'm hearing synastry that you had with them. This can even be something with the moon. I'm even seeing like Neptune and Mars connected here with you and this person. So yeah, there was something that you recognized didn't resonate with you as far as like your values. And maybe you felt too like you would have been taking on more than you wanted to by getting involved with this person, so you dipped out. And I'm seeing like something come to an end, but it wouldn't have been easy to do this, because I'm seeing like, if we're just talking about you and that individual, I'm seeing somebody that you very much resonate with. But this was something that strengthened the bond between you and yourself. And there's a sense of like even going through this process and recognizing your independence in a way that maybe you hadn't been seeing before. Because I'm seeing like even your career, or like something that you put a lot of time and energy into, I'm seeing you making leaps and bounds. Even in the way that you understand yourself and how you make decisions and moves and become more assertive within that space. Very interesting. For some of you, this was a moment that you realized that there may have been somebody that you were trying to incorporate into your life, and you recognized that it wasn't actually the person that you wanted to incorporate into your life. It was actually the role that they were playing, and that you wanted to embody that. So, like, before you understood that, you may have been reaching for this type of person to come into your life, not yet realizing that that was an energy that you were actually meant to step into, and that's why you were attracted to this person. Interesting. Looking at Neptune and Aries, I'm hearing the word wavy. Because you're moving on from something, or because you're deciding to kind of like shift your glance, I'm even hearing, I'm seeing there be a sense of stability that you're acquiring that you may not have held before. I'm looking at the Knight of Swords. I'm seeing a lot of light blue here. For some of you, I'm even seeing you get advice from like some sort of maternal figure in your life. Someone that you perceive. This can be you giving yourself advice, but for some of you, this is someone outside of you. Someone that you trust. I'm hearing creative genius. Maybe this is somebody that you look to that helps you with things on the creative front, or like when it comes to dreams and stuff that you're pursuing. In alignment with your path and your empowerment, it looks like you're gaining information that you needed in order to make a decision, maybe even a final decision. Because I'm seeing you be in a very good place mentally, spiritually, physically, to make an important choice that you're meant to make, and to read something that you needed to read. I'm seeing this even have like a karmic impact on you. I feel like I'm tapping into a new energy. Give me a second. There is something that is continuously unfolding over time. I'm seeing you even get bits and pieces for like some original idea or creation. It's something that you're working on, something that you're nurturing, something that you're bringing to fruition, and something that like you have to make executive decisions in relation to this thing. And this can even be like an aspect of your being. And I'm seeing something be like very much supported. I'm seeing you have like a sense of support and balance, even from like seemingly outward energies. So it's like maybe you feel like the universe is supporting you, or like your guides and whatnot, and I'm seeing something go very successfully. This was made possible because of you stepping into such an enlightened, authentic energy where you could even be bringing something to light or working on something and presenting or producing something that is original in nature, is what I'm hearing. It can be like something that you're offering that you're like, I know that I'm the only person in the world that can offer this because I'm the only me here. And because of you choosing to go down this path of living in this creative and authentic light, I'm seeing something that you bring that also you were karmically meant to be bringing. And this may be something that like you feel successful in your own right for doing, and it may be something that actually gains traction as well with the Six of Wands here and Jupiter. Because Jupiter, anything that it touches, it's expanding. And with the Judgment card, it's like based off of a decision, and connected with the High Priestess, it's like you doing something in alignment that feels empowering to you. And with the Knight of Swords, it's like you gained clarity on this and what you were meant to be doing. So I'm seeing you be very sure about something that you're doing, self-assured at least. So to have Jupiter next to the Six of Wands, it's like some sort of success that's even like magnified or expanded in some sort of way. Like it grows bigger than even like the original impact, is what I'm hearing. For some of you, this is even related to a series of decisions that you've made. And maybe they seemed seemingly unrelated at the time, but it's like they're all adding up to something important. So it does look like there's somebody that comes into the picture, whether this is an aspect of your being or this is like somebody outside of yourself. And I'm seeing this person come through and support you in a way where you feel very empowered and you feel like in alignment with this person and like maybe their creativity or how they lead their life. But I'm seeing you like find support. Like this would be somebody that you kind of like see yourself reflected in this person. There's a deep sense of familiarity that you would feel with them. I'm hearing something about the likeness. I'm seeing, I'm hearing so happy I could cry. It looks even like there had been something that you were worrying about, but it ends up like being okay. It's almost like you take a test and you're worried that you failed it and you get it back and you end up getting like a 98 on it. I'm seeing a moment like that. Like it's something that maybe had gotten a bit carried away, but I'm seeing this like I'm hearing merge from a space of self-doubt. You could have even felt like there was something that you were trying to do for yourself that like the opportunity maybe had even passed you by, or it's something that you would not be able to procure is the word I'm getting. I'm seeing you with somebody whose energy, it's like even hard to tell the difference. So like this can definitely be two different aspects of you, or this can be somebody around you that in certain ways their energy is very similar to yours. I'm hearing there are key differences, but there are also key similarities. Like this can be somebody that very much mirrors you. So there may have been somebody, I'm even seeing, it's so interesting what I'm getting now. I'm seeing somebody that may have even like you've felt some sort of attraction towards this person. And I mean, that does not have to be like romantic or necessarily sexual. It can just be somebody that you find very much appealing. There could have been somebody that like you were attracted to certain things about this person, but you may have realized that like below the surface, maybe there were things that you didn't agree with. I'm smelling both cigarettes and also burnt popcorn right here. It was like there was something going on, and maybe something going on with like somebody's facade, and it's like a place where you felt maybe you were going to find mutual support with somebody, or there was even a mutual likeness. And then it's like when you kind of pull back the facade or see behind the layers, you could have recognized that like somebody was not going to support you or be there for you in the way that you had hoped that they would be. And this was something that you ended up learning about, and you like could see through something in relation to this person. This could have even been somebody that kind of put on a front where it's like they come across in a way where they exude a sense of like maybe confidence, but I'm seeing it be a false sense of confidence. And it was something that maybe initially like you weren't able to read through, maybe because that was still something that you were working on yourself. And then like as you were learning more about yourself through your interactions with this person, is what I'm hearing, you ended up being able to like even see this sort of like facade that this person was putting on, and they may not even be so aware of it. Like maybe they just chalk it up to a part of their personality, but it's actually part of their shadow, is what I'm getting, which is very interesting. So conceptual, Pisces. So I'm seeing you have this experience where like something comes to light, and so you may recognize that like somebody was giving you advice, maybe from the best place that they could be giving you advice. I'm hearing the word janky, but it may not have been advice that you actually believe would be best for you to be doing. So it's like this person, I'm seeing them just because the place that they're in, they're not capable of giving you good advice in the way that you could give yourself good advice. So it's not like there's any pointing fingers or like you led me down the wrong road. Because if you're following somebody's advice and you go down the wrong road, you're the one that walked down that road. So there's a sense of like understanding somebody, meeting somebody where they are, and not being fooled by some like sort of like false pretense, maybe even that you had prior to getting to know this person better. So you see something that you needed to see, and then I'm seeing that like this may change something even deep-seated for you in relation to like how you prioritize yourself and take care of yourself. Because you could have seen this person like maybe fixates on like outward appearance and then doesn't like follow through on their own personal needs. So it could have been somebody encouraging you to do the same thing. So I'm seeing maybe even somebody that, like as you see it, maybe cut some corners to get to the place that they are, and then you see there's a sense of emptiness that they have, or like shadow work that that impacts them because they haven't worked on it. And I'm seeing this be valuable to you because it maybe shed light on something that you needed to realize about yourself. So I'm seeing like there being learning, and I'm seeing it come from a place of like nurturing and self-love. And it's something that even like rewrites a scenario from your deep past for you. Because this could have even been something that you saw like modeled off of like, I don't know, maybe within your childhood, like some sort of motherly figure that you saw this same thing modeled for. And then it's like, as you grow older, you came into contact with a person that similarly reminded you of your mother. And it's like you had a second chance to see behind something that maybe you hadn't been seeing before. And it like almost even heals or tends to something from your past that needed to be addressed that now you get to rewrite. Like there's some sort of like perspective shift even. I'm even seeing a sense of like nurturing and forgiveness. And I am seeing too, you make an important decision that does not look like an easy decision for you to make. It's very interesting in the Aquarius reading, the Strength card, I'm pretty sure was at the center of that spread too, and I'm seeing it here again. So you make a decision that may not be the easiest one to make, but it's one that is like, it's one that is in your best interest, especially when it comes to you grounding, taking care of yourself, replenishing your energy. And it gives you the strength to then seize something that you wanted to seize. And I'm seeing a decision that you finally are ready to make after you've taken like maybe even a bit of a hiatus from something. Because it looks like you recognize that it's time for you to pull back or take a break from like something or someone, and in that time I'm seeing like something grow or build, and I'm seeing like maybe a vision that you're holding on to now, or like something that you want, and then it comes time where you're ready to actually make that decision. And I'm seeing like maybe you're like, this is either going to go very well or it's not going to go well at all, like there's no in between. That feels a little bit black and white as far as like the energy that I'm reading, so maybe something that you're paying mind to. But yeah, I'm seeing something even be cleared up, like something that you had been worrying about. You're like, oh, I didn't need to worry about that at all. It actually came out perfectly, is what I'm hearing. I'm smelling fluoride here. Interesting. So yeah, I'm seeing like some decision that you make that you had been worrying about, it actually turns out really well. And you're like, I spent that time worrying and I actually did not need to worry at all. I'm hearing wipe your tears. Spirit's just guiding you to listen to your intuition and to tap in when you feel like you're at a spot where you don't know what to do next. So like when you feel like you're at a place where you're not sure where to go next, to kind of pause and give yourself time to reflect. I'm looking at Venus, Pluto, Jupiter, and the Sun. This also looks like a moment where you may be deciding to prioritize your happiness over like another person's happiness. Because you could have even been putting somebody before yourself and like neglecting something that needed to be taken care of, meaning you. Because you could have been like pushing aside your needs to meet somebody else's and not giving them the room to meet their own needs. I'm also looking at Leo here. So I'm looking at Venus, Leo, Pluto, Jupiter, the Sun. Alright, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.